Yeah, good afternoon. Uh, Paul Sykes. Paul Sykes, he's just a hard man, mate, you know. Been in prison all his life, trained all his life. I see him on a couple of videos. Very powerful guy on the weights, very powerful, yeah. And anyway, um, when he came out of prison, he decided, because he'd been training so much, to turn professional. So he turned professional fight. He had about 6, 7 fights, and then he fought John O'Gardner for the British title at Wembley. John O'Gardner, I know John O'Gardner from old. We both used to go to the boxing border control gym, Haverstock Hill, called the Noble Art, yeah? I used to spar with Billy Aird there, and I've had a few rounds with Joe Bugner. John O'Gardner had sponsorship, so much sponsorship, unbelievable. Everybody liked John O'Gardner. Me, I turned into being an armed robber, yeah? Well, John O'Gardner's kept as what he was, a professional fighter, wanted to be a professional fighter. He then fought Paul Sykes. Paul Sykes fought John O'Gardner for the British title, and only had 7 fights. John O'Gardner had 30 fights and lost only one out of the 30. So John O'Gardner was a good professional fighter, whereas Paul Sykes was just a hard man. Yeah. The fight was it was really heavy fight. It was really a fast fight. For 5 rounds, they was going hammer and tong. John O'Gardner was punching Paul Sykes everywhere. He couldn't stop him because John O'Gardner never had the punch to stop you with 1 punch. He'd stop you with 20 punches. That's what John O'Gardner was about, yeah? In the 6th round, John O'Gardner stopped Paul Sykes. They said Paul Sykes turned his back. Well, I watched the fight. He didn't turn his back. He turned to the side. The referee's going to stop it anyway. The referee stopped it. John O'Gardner stopped Paul Sykes. After that, I'm not quite sure if Paul Sykes had any fights, but Paul Sykes got into the unlicensed fighting, but he didn't do any fights with Frankie Warren or Joe Pyle or anybody like that, yeah? He didn't do that. So it must have been from where he comes from, Wakefield or whatever, yeah? He then heard about Lenny McLean. He'd already fought Roy Shaw in prison. This is what people are saying, that he might have had 2 fights with Roy Shaw. Because Roy Shaw, Joe Pyle and Alex Steens had arranged for Paul Sykes to fight Roy Shaw in a marquee like they'd done with Donny Adams. So that fight was supposed to be on. I was at a show called Box On at the Rainbow Theatre, yeah? So at the Rainbow, not the Rainbow Theatre, the Rainbow, yeah? It might be the theatre, I don't know. So at the Rainbow, yeah? I fought a guy called Brian Hall, and in the audience was Freddie Foreman, Terry Downs, and Paul Sykes. Not a lot of people know Paul Sykes was there, but he was there. Paul Sykes was there to offer Lenny McLean a fight. He wanted to fight Lenny McLean because he heard Lenny McLean had a name, but he had a name through Frankie Warren, because Frankie Warren was Lenny McLean's cousin. So Lenny McLean made Frankie Warren, and Frankie Warren made Lenny McLean. That's why Lenny McLean got such a big name, through Frankie Warren. So then Paul Sykes pulled Lenny McLean with Frankie Warren and Vic Andretti in the dressing room, but I never see that. I was there, but I never see that. There must have been earlier or later, but I never see that. So Paul Sykes had arranged to fight Lenny McLean at the Rainbow. Paul Sykes showed up for the fight at the Rainbow, but Lenny McLean didn't show up. It happened twice for me, that. It's the exact same thing happened twice for me, but Lenny McLean never showed up. As I said, it might have been Vic Andretti or Frankie Warren that didn't want it, because they knew that Paul Sykes would win the fight with Lenny McLean, and then Lenny would be finished, yeah? So they never showed up for the fight. Then Paul Sykes was supposed to fight Roy Shaw at a marquee for Joe Pyle and Alex Steen. Paul Sykes never showed up for the fight to fight Roy Shaw. More likely because he was there to fight Lenny McLean. Anyway, cut a long story short, it never happened. Roy Shaw never happened, Lenny McLean never happened, yeah? But Paul Sykes never, ever fought Roy Shaw twice, only the once. Paul Sykes didn't back down from Lenny McLean, it was vice versa. So anyway, Paul Sykes was a fantastic fighter. Hard fighter on the street. I'm not saying could he have beat Lenny on the cobbles? Nobody knows that, yeah? But he could not have beat Lenny in the ring. Without a shadow of doubt, Lenny would have stopped him, I feel, in the first round. I also feel that Paul Sykes would have been beat by Cliff Fields because Cliff Fields had the same style as John O'Gardner. But the only difference between John O'Gardner and Cliff Fields was that Cliff Fields could bang. Cliff Fields is a big man, 18, 19 stone, that could bang. And if he hit you on the chin, you'd go. As Lenny McLean found that out, yeah? So Paul Sykes would not have fought Cliff Fields because Cliff Fields had knocked him out. But he might have fought Lenny McLean, beat Lenny, I fancy. He might have fought Roy Shaw, beat Roy Shaw, might have done. He'd have beat me maybe. But Cliff Fields, I don't know, didn't get the fish. Give me a comment on that. Would you think that Paul Sykes would have beat Roy Shaw, would have beat Lenny McLean, and would have beat Cliff Fields and would have beat me? Give me a comment. Bang, bang, rail. Nice one.